Alright, what's up guys? We've got a new deck profile today. Right after Dimension Force came out, we have Gaia the Fierce Knight. One of the most exciting OTK decks to ever exist. This is the new card, Cursive Dragon, the Magical Knight Dragon. Such a great card. It basically gives you a free body on board, plus it turns every single one of your fusions into a Dragon's Mirror type fusion, and also on top of that, it allows you to add back a card that lists Gaia the Dragon Champion back to your hand. Really, really good card, but changes the deck a lot. It's the most updated build that I have. We play 3 copies of Artillery Turtle. You only have 2 normal summons in the deck, this and the Magical Knight. Basically what this card does is you tribute any monster, and then you can special summon a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster or a level 5 dragon. So either way, it either helps the Cursive Dragon go off, or it helps one of your knights go off. So either way, it's a really, really strong card. You need to kind of max out on it. So we play 3 of that. We also play 3 copies of Gaia the Magical Knight. This is one of the most important cards to open, like in your opening hand, if you can possibly do it. But basically what this card does is if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can normal summon it. And then on top of that, you can, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a level 5 dragon from your hand or graveyard, and that triggers a lot of other important things in your deck, which is of course the Cursive Dragon. So that's why we max out on that one. It's basically just a free summon. We play 3 copies of Gaia the Fierce Knight Origin. This is another card that's pretty important. It basically, you can activate this card in your hand, discard a level 5 or higher monster to special summon it for free, and then it has a graveyard effect where you can banish it and then make in a monster on the field that has different attack than its original attack, which that's pretty important because the fusion drops its attack by 2600 and just allows you to pop cards, and then you can use this to bring it back from 0 to 2600 if you have gotten it that low. Next we play 3 copies of Curse of Dragon, the Cursed Dragon. I used to play, actually, the older dragon in addition to this one, but you don't need to just because of the new card. But this card is also really good on normal summon or special summon. You can add a spell that has Gaia the Dragon Champion in its text. That's usually its most important effect. And then if you fusion summon a Gaia the Dragon Champion while this card is in your graveyard, you can negate the effects of all monsters your opponent controls. It's like a Dark Ruler no more. They can respond, but it's like a Dark Ruler no more, because once those effects are negated, it's a wrap. They are done. We play 1 copy of Lord Gaia the Fierce Knight. I only play 1 because you only ever want to open 1. You never want to open 2 of these in your hand. This card's like not super great, but it's just a free body on board. If you open it, it's good, but it's not game changing. It just honestly just helps you put an additional body on board, helps win for a game. Basically what this does is if your opponent controls a monster and you don't, you can special summon this card for free, and that's pretty much all it does. And then you can do other stuff with it. You can tribute it for a Curse of Dragon, for example, but mostly you just keep it on board or fuse with it. Then we play 2 copies of Soldier Gaia the Fierce Knight. This card has a quick effect where you contribute a dragon fusion monster that you control to special summon it, so you can even do that during the battle phase. This guy's 2600 attack, so you can help you finish games just like that. And on top of that, it can target a monster on summon and change it to defense position. And it has another effect where if they somehow have survived the battle phase, you contribute this to add a level 7 or higher Gaia the Fierce Knight monster, or I'm sorry, level 7 or higher warrior monster from your deck, which is pretty cool. And now to round out our monsters, we play 1 copy of Alpha Master of Beasts. This is we only play 1 copy. Again, it's too hard once per turn, the bouncing effect. So, and this is very much a going second deck. This deck cannot go first, but fortunately almost every single deck in the metagame right now wants to go first, so going second is great, because no one will ever contest you on the dice roll. But yeah, this guy can special summon himself for free if your opponent controls higher attacks than you do, and then you can bounce beast warriors or beasts or winged beasts that you control in order to non-target bounce cards your opponent controls. So you can summon this and then bounce cards your opponent controls, add this back to hand, and then summon it again, because the summon's not once per turn, and he's obviously 3000 attack. He can help you swing for swing for massive damage. That's the name of the entire. That's the whole point of the deck. You just swing for massive damage. Then we play 3 copies for the spells. We play 3 copies of Spiral Fusion. This is your main fusion spell. You can add it off the Curse of Dragon. Usually that's the easiest way to add it. But basically this lets you summon Gaia the Fierce Knight. Gaia the Dragon Champion is what I meant to say. From your extra deck, and then the attack of that Gaia the Dragon Champion becomes 2,600 more. And then on top of that, it can attack 2 times on monsters. So you basically will, if you can get to the battle phase in this deck, and this is it, if you can get to the battle phase, you basically will always win. We play 1 copy of Spiral Spear Strike. It's, I don't even want to call it a grind game card, but it's a pretty important card. You search it for free. That's why we play. It's absolutely like a free search, so definitely play. You search it off of Sky Galloping, the Dragon Champion. It's a totally free search, and basically what it does is when you attack an opponent's defense position monster, it does piercing, and then on top of you doing piercing to your opponent's defense position monster, if you do successfully do piercing, you can draw 2 cards and then discard 1. It's just super duper good. There's really no point to play, and there's also no point to play more than 1 of this card because literally it's searchable multiple different ways. We play 3 copies of the field spell. This is the Galloping Gaia. This card is good for multiple reasons. So right off the bat, if you control a Gaia the Dragon Champion in your extra deck, your opponent can't activate any effects in the battle phase. That is a really, really, really strong effect. It actually has gotten significantly better because you can do cool things. Like you can enter the battle phase, and then you can super poly your opponent's board. And if they have, for example, like a lot of the... they have, like, for example, like Phoenix Enforcer or Mirror Jade, or like effects that have to activate after the monster is either destroyed or sent to the graveyard. They can't activate those effects because they can't activate any effects in the battle phase. So if you run over their Phoenix Enforcer, they can't activate it to come back to the next turn. It is gone forever. So it's cool that like your opponent cannot activate any effects in the battle phase. That effect is really cool. Then there's a second effect on the bottom here, which is the kind of like consistency effect, which is if you have a level 5 or higher dragon monster in your hand, you can reveal that and then search any Gaia monster. Or if you have a Gaia monster, you can reveal that Gaia monster and search a level 5 or higher dragon monster. So, I'm sorry, just a level 5, not level 5 or higher, just level 5. But yeah, it's a consistency card, and if you have this card in your field zone and you get to the battle phase, you have won that duel. There's nothing your opponent can do. They can't interact with you. You literally, once you enter that battle phase, you win the game. Next, we play 1 copy of Gateway of Chaos. This just searches a Gaia monster on on activation. We play 1 Mystic Mine. These are the 1-ofs, and we play 1 set rotation. So you play set rotation. Most of the time you'll be grabbing either Gateway of Chaos or the Mystic Mine. It really depends on what the board looks like. But it's cool to have the versatility, and then we have Terraforming. So we basically have 2 copies of each of these. We have 2 copies of each of these field spells. And then, actually with set rotation, we basically have 3 copies of each of the field spells. And then we have, with set rotation, 6 copies of the Galloping Gaia. I'm sorry, 5 copies. Didn't do the math right. But yeah, 5 copies of the Galloping Gaia, which is the more important field spell. Then we play 1 copy of the Dragon's Mirror. You don't need to play as many Dragon's Mirror anymore. You're better off just playing more going second cards. Because the Curse of Dragon, basically, when it's on the field, it turns all fusions into... Dragon's Mirror, so there's really no point to play more. Then we play 1 copy of Reasoning. Reasoning is one of the better cards in the deck because all of our levels are different. We have levels that are all over the place. Whenever you activate Reason, I mean, it's very, very, very rare that you will whiff on a Reasoning because I don't think we have many like the most common level that people call is level 4, which is and the only thing we have this level 4 is the Artillery Turtle. So it's very rare that we actually whiff off of Reasoning, and most of the cards in this deck actually activate or normal or special summon. So you can you can special summon like a Curse of Gaia, Curse of Dragon, and basically get a free summon and a free search off the Reasoning. Next we play 1 Instant Fusion. Something that's cool about this new monster, it's actually a level 5, so you can actually you can actually do something with that. Yeah, it's a level 5, so you can summon off of it. You can actually use its effect just by doing the instant fusion. Next, we play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. This is actually supposed to be Extravagance. You'll rarely hear somebody play Prosperity and tell you play Extravagance instead. But Extravagance is actually better in this deck. I just couldn't find mine, so I'm just using these. But if you're watching this and you're trying to build a deck, Extravagance is not only cheaper, but it's actually better for the deck. Then we play 3 copies. Let me move this out of the way. There's a huge pile growing. 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. I am not playing, like, what are they called? I'm not playing any hand traps, because hand traps this format are just totally terrible. Unless you draw 2 of them in your opening hand, you can't even do anything. You draw 1 Ash Blossom, it's just not doing anything. So I just cut all the hand traps. I let my opponent make a board, and then I'll just break that board. I don't really care what they're doing. I'll figure out a way to play through it. Play 2 copies of Super Poly. Might bump this to 3, depending on how the meta goes. But this card is just really, really good against Despia, which is obviously the best deck. And if you're playing against Despia, you got to play Super Poly. And then we play 3 copies of Lightning Storm. This is another really, really strong card. You activate it. They either have to waste the negate, or if they don't waste the negate, they lose their board. Like, I don't know what to say. It's really good against control decks, which obviously OTK decks struggle most against control decks. Next we're playing, this is the extra deck. We'll talk about certain things when we get there. Super Poly Target, Starving Venom, Predator Plant, 3-headed monster. We've got Mud Dragon of the Swamp, the Predaplan Dracospelia, 1 copy of Drake, the Nether Soul Dragon. First of the Dragons can get rid of tokens, which is pretty cool. Interrupt your opponent's plays. This is a brand new Super Poly Target. Any 2 Pendulum monsters. Pendulum decks in general are going to be a lot better now, so it's good to play this. Also, what you can play is, it's kind of interesting, but you can actually, because you're playing Instant Fusion, you can actually play things like Thousand Eyes, and you can play things like Relinquished Anima, Thousand Eyes. You can even play the, what's it called, the Time Wizard monster. That actually isn't too bad of an option in this deck. So those are some of the options you have available to you for going second and stuff like that. So now next we play, for the Gaia cards, 3 copies of Curse of Dragon, the Magical Dragon. This card is really good. This is the newest card. Basically what it does is the fusion requirement is just a warrior monster and a level 5 or higher dragon. This is actually a half-decent Super Poly target, because you can actually do crazy things. It's not like the other ones. It's actually kind of decent. If you're playing against a dragon deck, for example, you can, for example, like summon, you can if you have Gaia the Fierce Knight of Origin, you can just set it and then Super Poly your opponent, which is kind of crazy. Baron de Fleur is actually a warrior monster, so that is actually fairly helpful. Obviously, if they have like any level 5, what's it called? Baron de Fleur is a warrior monster. You've also got Phoenix Enforcer is a warrior monster. So you've got some pretty decent options in terms of the plays that you can make with this card. You can also make this off the Spiral Fusion, and you can make this off of Instant Fusion. It's very easy to summon this card. But what this card does is it allows you to, whenever you were to special summon for a level 7 or higher, for a level 7 higher dragon monster, you can banish materials from your graveyard, so it basically allows you to turn everything into a dragon's mirror. On top of that, it has an effect where if this card is special summoned, you can add a card from your graveyard that lists Gaia the Dragon Champion in its text back from your graveyard to your hand. That effect is once per turn. The turning everything into a Miracle Fusion is not once per turn. So a really good card, Super Poly target, good in the main deck, good generally, just a really, 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 really good card. It's like a free body on board. 3 copies of Sky Galloping, the Dragon Champion. This card basically allows you to search the, I'll pull it up here. It allows you to search the Spiral Spear Strike, the greatest ultimate rare ever, for free, just on summon. On top of that, whenever it attacks a monster, it can change it to defense mode, which can come up and be useful. And then we've got kind of the main card of the deck, which is 3 copies of Gaia the Magical Knight of Dragons. This card always counts as Gaia the Dragon Champion, just like Sky Galloping Knight. This counts as Gaia the Dragon Champion at all times, and basically what it does is whenever it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can gain attack. You can gain 2600 attack. So you can use Spiral Fusion. You can use Spiral Fusion to make this card. Spiral Fusion to make this card. It comes out with 5200 attack. and then you can attack an opponent's monster, and if you do whatever you need to do some damage, 5200. This has 2 attacks, so you attack with 5200, it gains 2600 attack, it becomes 78, and then you can just attack again, and usually 78 and 52, I don't care who you're attacking, you are winning that duel. And again, your opponent can't activate anything if you have your field spell in the field, but this is one of the most important like OTK cards in the entire deck. But that, I think, is it. Like I said, the only changes I would make is I would actually cut down this right here. Since if you want to play Prosperity, you only have to play like 2 of this, like probably like 1 of this, and probably like 2 of this, and you can cut it down and play like instant fusion targets or just generic good link monsters. But other than that, this deck has been really fun. I love playing it online. It's actually pretty good on Master, to be honest with you, just because everything is already legal on there. And there's a lot of great cards for going second. But that is everything. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.